Hello and welcome to your reading. This is the Awakened Jenn. Welcome back to the spiritual view for your daily divine forecast for Tuesday, May 13th, 2025. The spiritual view is a collective of spiritually gifted women who use a range of modalities to bring messages of guidance for the collective. We are growing a thriving community here on our channel, and you won't want to miss all of the fun that we have going on. We bring daily videos that has a different reader each day of the week. And then we have our Thursday night live at 7 p.m. Eastern, where we bring all the readers together for a collective conversation, and we pull cards for the viewers. And then we have other full moon specials and our Archangel series that you can check out too. So just subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to be notified every time a new video is released. So today's energy is deep and alchemical. We're riding the wave of the Scorpio Full Moon, which peaked yesterday. And if you've been feeling things stir in your soul, old wounds bubbling up, or truths that are cracking open, you're not alone. Scorpio doesn't do surface level healing. It dives straight into the shadows to bring light to the places that we thought were long buried. Our angel numbers today are 1212, a reminder that your path is being divinely guided. Keep moving forward with trust. 1144, the angels are supporting you in building a new foundation on truth. And 1001, this is a soul reset. Cycles are closing so that fresh timelines can open. The overall energy today is forgiveness and understanding. And so I want you to just breathe that in for a second, because that's not passive energy. That is a soul initiation. Forgiveness is a frequency shift. It's how we untangle ourselves from what was and become available to what could be. All right, so before we get too deep into this reading, I want us to take 3 deep breaths together and do the invocation to call in the spirit team. So if you'll close your eyes and breathe in. That's 1. Breathe in. That's 2. Breathe in. That's 3. I now call in my angels, archangels, ascended masters, our higher selves and guardian angels to please enter this present space and time. I call upon Archangel Michael to place a bubble of protection around us. Only beings of the highest vibration of pure love and light may enter in. So be it. All right. So today I have pulled from, let me get all my decks together here. I've got the Healing Waters deck, the Biblical Tarot, and the 22 Archangels Oracle. All right, so the first cards I pulled with the Healing Waters Oracle. And so the first question is what we think is happening right now. And we got the Beneath the Surface card, which is talking about true motives coming to the surface. So we might feel like things are falling apart, or like certain people are finally showing their true colors. And you're right to pay attention to those red flags or gut instincts. But take a pause before jumping to conclusions. Let the surface still before you decide what you're really seeing. And so it's like we're seeing what the actual motivations, and not just even your motivations, but the motivations of others. All of this is coming to the light with this Scorpio full moon. You're seeing things that have been hidden under the surface for a long time, and all of that is now coming out. And so you're being asked to, like, even though you're seeing and it's probably causing a reaction in you, don't do anything with it yet. Right now it's like it's information that's just kind of coming up to the surface. It's information that's coming out. And so, and it's like I said, it's long been buried. The stuff that's coming out, like, especially if it's in relation to someone else, they may not have even known that that was in there. It may have been buried so deep within them that they didn't even know. It's like all of these patterns. That's kind of what I'm getting, is like the awareness to all of these patterns that led to whatever situation that we're dealing with right now. That's what's coming to the surface. We're having the actual understanding coming, and that's what's bringing us to be able to have the forgiveness. And maybe even if we've offered the forgiveness, that helps to bring some of this out to the surface too. But I think that it's the understanding part that's coming in, that's bringing in that forgiveness energy that I'm feeling. And so what is actually happening today is gentle force. So this is a long game. You're being shown what needs to shift, but spirit isn't asking you to fix it all overnight. Gentle pressure over time moves mountains. This is a lesson in slow strength, in choosing grace over reaction. And so, again, this is kind of going back to, like I said, all of the stuff that's coming out, and it was asking you, don't just rush to it just yet. This is kind of following up that same message, is this is a long game. And so with the gentle force, and so like that's where it's like, if you're really wanting to bring lasting change, you've got to do it in little increments. And so whether this is talking about you, changes that you need to make for yourself, or changes that need to happen in somebody else or in a connection that you're in, it needs to happen in little increments. Because if it, like, especially if it was just way far out of balance, and there's a lot of work that needs to happen here. To expect perfection, to expect it to go from, this all the way over to here overnight, is just setting yourself up for failure, or setting the other person up for failure. But if we can, like, allow for space for this gradual growth that gets us, from that one place to all the way over here, that's what this is asking. It's like, can you commit to the long, because this is not going to be a short-term battle here. And I don't even feel battle is the right word. But it's a commitment. It's not a short-term thing that you're going to have to manage this. Whatever's coming out from under the surface is something that has to be managed. It's not something that's going to go away. It's not like, once it's revealed, it's not like you can put your head under, and hide from it anymore. That's why it's caused the problems that it's caused to this point, is because nobody's been looking at it. It's just been hidden. And so now then it's here, and yes, it's inconvenient, and we have to figure out what we need to do with it. But now we can actually do something with it because we know that it's there. And so moving forward with the biblical tarot, why is this happening right now? And we have the King of Chalices. So this is about emotional maturity. The King of Chalices brings us into alignment with what's real, not reactive. We're reconnecting with the truth of our hearts, not the stories that we've told ourselves to avoid the pain. And so this is about, like I said, it's the emotional maturity. We have learned how to not be emotionally reactive. And so now then we can look at just whatever the situation was with new eyes. We can now take in the information. The emotions are information. Our feelings are information. They're not meant for us to just, instantly do something with. They're meant for us to kind of process through, what is this trying to tell us? And so if you're feeling anger, if you're feeling, betrayal, if you're feeling, resentment, if you're feeling any of those harsher emotions, like, we've got to look deeper before we do something, with it. Why is it there? Is it really about this person that's right here in front of us? Or is it triggering something that's way deeper, going beneath the surface, that could be all the way back from our childhood, or even, something that we brought from a past life with us? Like, until we see it and really inspect it, we can't just do anything with it yet, because you don't know that you're treating, the right situation, if that makes sense. But see, we've grown so much in our emotional maturity, in our ability to even recognize our emotions and to recognize our triggers, that now then we can show up different than what we've ever done before. It's not that you don't still feel the triggers. You will still feel the triggers, but it's like, oh, you're catching it before you're taking action. And so I feel it. Okay, what do I need to do with it? That's where we're taking it next. Now, instead of just now, oh, I'm feeling it, and I go straight into survival mode. And like, that's where it's allowing you to slow yourself down. And that's that long game that it was talking about, that gentle force. It's not like just, okay, this has to change right now. No, the first thing we have to do is identify that this is the thing that is happening. This is the actual thing that's happening. So it's like, almost like I'm getting the mechanic, it's like we hear the noise, but the mechanic knows that that noise could mean, a variety of different things, and so it's like you've got to inspect and find the exact right cause of whatever the noise was so that we can actually repair the problem, or at least manage the problem, because I feel like this is a manage kind of thing, not actually a repair. So what is our best move forward? Our best move forward is to admit with the Ten of Swords that yes, the betrayal really did happen. That yes, whatever betrayal, disappointment, or whatever the ending was that this card represents, it really did happen. The pain actually did happen, and we cannot rewrite the past, but we can reclaim our power by learning from it. This is your permission to stop trying to resurrect something that Spirit has already released. And so whatever has you in the, this betrayal feeling here, whatever this, the stuff coming to the surface, seeing their true colors, this is the thing that I'm really connecting to the most. Like, we have to quit trying to prevent it from happening, because it already happened. And it's like the more that we sit in our head of just like really like just over processing, it's like you already understand like why it happened on one level, but it's just like you just still, it's that denial stage just keeps spinning for you. It's just like you can't get out of it. But the why me? Why did it have to happen like this? Why couldn't they have done this? Or why couldn't this happen this way? And it's just like you kind of get stuck in that place because you're refusing to believe, that what happened really happened. You're refusing to believe that you were capable of doing whatever the thing was that caused this ending. You are refusing to believe that the other person was capable of doing whatever the thing was that caused the betrayal. Like, we've got to get to this point of acceptance. We've got to see it for what it really was, how bad it really was, and just get to that level, see it right there. It happened. And there's literally nothing we can do now other than learn from it, other than grow from it. So now at this point, this is a lesson. Whether we wanted it to be or not, it is. It already happened. And we have to, like, that's the piece. We have to accept we can't change the part that it happened. We can only grow from it. We can only, just like, we can only move from there, but we cannot change that piece. And I think that's the piece that has held us stuck. All right. So the potential outcome, if we can finally do that, we have the Seven of Grains. And so with the Seven of Grains, this is fertile ground, even if it doesn't look like it yet. You are sowing new seeds today, maybe because you were forced to, maybe because your soul finally said enough. Either way, this is a better foundation than what you were building before. And so once we just really, like, we see this as clearly as it is, it was that bad. It was that bad. It needed to go. This did not need to still be something present in your life. Now then it's made space and fertile ground for you to plant the new seeds for the new stuff to come in. Now it's not here yet, and that's why it feels as bad as it does still, because it's not here yet. What we don't see coming, we have the Two of Feathers. So there is a crossroads here. Something is asking for a decision. You may be tested in your loyalty to people, patterns, or even your own evolution. What will you choose? And so with the Two of Feathers, especially with this card here, it's showing Abraham and Isaac. So it's when Abraham was asked to sacrifice his only son that he waited 100 years to get for his mission. And, if you know the full story, he didn't end up having to sacrifice his son. I don't actually love this story. This one was one that always made me like, what? God asked him to do what? Please, God, don't ever ask me to do that. Like, because I don't know that I would do what he did, because I think that's insane. But purpose of the story and the card is it's like, how committed are you to your path, to your growth, to your mission, to you, like how committed, are you willing to do whatever it takes? And there's the vastness of like drasticness of what it takes here, but are you willing to do whatever it takes? And part of this is, are you willing to release something that you really, really love and trust that in this sense that spirit still has your back, that you're still going to be supported, that you're still going to be taken care of, that even if you have to sacrifice the thing that matters the most to you right now, even if that's the thing that is like you're having such a hard time grasping and letting, seeing, getting to the acceptance part of this, to the release part of this, which the release is the forgiveness. That's the forgiveness that it's talking about here. That's the next step in this. And I think that because we haven't fully accepted that it happened, how can you even get to a forgiveness of it? If you haven't even in your head accepted that it happened, how can you forgive for it yet? And so like, there's grief here. This is just all talking about like, and it's just like that one is just showing just this, spinning in this stage of denial. And so now we're out of the denial, because all of this is now being brought to the surface. We're seeing things more clearly. We're understanding now how to manage it. We're seeing this as this is going to be a long-term thing that I'm going to have to deal with. And so it's preparing us in that way. So the final message I pulled from the Archangel Oracle deck, and we have, and I was so happy to see this come out, we have Archangel Jeremiel, in which if you watch our Archangel series, he was featured last week, and he is my main spirit guide. So I love when he shows up in my readings, because he's always in my readings. But so with Archangel Jeremiel, we have personal responsibility. Jeremiel doesn't sugarcoat things. He shows up when it's time to look at your life honestly and ask, what part did I play? That's not to shame yourself. It's to empower you. Owning your role means reclaiming your authority to choose again. So I'm going to read the message from the book. The energy of forgiveness is here, waiting to be called in and embodied. Angels are here too, inviting you to take a step back and review your current situation before moving forward. If you have received feedback or identified that your choices or actions have been to the detriment of someone around you, it's important to own your part of it. It's not easy taking responsibility for actions that hurt others, especially if that wasn't your intention. But you will feel better after owning your part than defending your actions. And in turn, this will welcome in the energy of peace. And so, like that, what's coming to the surface in the long game, and it's like you're realizing your part that you played in this too. Because I mean, especially if this dealt with somebody else, anytime you're dealing with interpersonal dynamics, you had a part to play in that. And I know that like when we're talking about abuse, that is not excusing abuse situations, but there is a part that you still play. I'm thinking of this quote. I don't know who said it, but it's like, when you continue to complain about someone else not changing, you are also unwilling to change as well. And that's what that is looking at. That's what that's literally saying right there. So like if you're in a situation that has made you feel really, really terrible, you're not happy with it, and you keep waiting for somebody else to fix it, but you are the one who is still complaining all the time, and you're the one still choosing to show up and be a part of that same scenario, then you are also as unwilling as the person who you're, complaining about, the other part that you're complaining about. And so what is your part in this? And sometimes the only part that you can have in this is to remove yourself from it. And that's usually the hardest part. And that is what keeps us stuck in, this cycle of denial. No, it wasn't really that bad. No, it didn't really happen in that kind of way. Yeah, it did. It was. So until we get to that bottom line reality, this is what happened. It was that bad. So now what do we need to do with it? What do I actually want to do with it? We can't even take those steps forward. And so I think that's what's being asked so much right now with this forgiveness and understanding. Yes, I think we've gotten as much understanding as we can get. And that's what's coming out with this full moon energy. But now then, what are we going to do with it? Where does the forgiveness come in? And how does that bring us, the release so that we don't continue to carry this hurt and pain with us? All right, so as we integrate this Scorpio full moon energy, remember what's surfacing is not here to destroy you. It's here to free you. This is a soul detox. You're being invited into radical self-honesty, sacred surrender, and heart-led accountability. Let the truth rise without judgment. Let what needs to fall, fall. And trust that what remains will be real and will be true and is what is meant for you. So the affirmation for today is, I forgive the past, I honor the truth, and I choose to rise with grace. So what truth are you finally ready to face without fear? What are you ready to really accept? It really happened. It really was that bad. And I really can move on from this now. If this resonated, hit the like and subscribe so you don't miss any of our next videos. And if you would like to book a private reading, you can find that information down in the description box below. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.